In a world where everything moves so fast, it's easy to overlook the small gestures, especially when it comes to people trying to keep in touch. We get caught up in our busy schedules, drowning in work, personal commitments, and the hustle of daily life. But have you ever stopped to think about the people who take time out of their day to check in on you? It may not seem like much at first, but there's a silent beauty in those efforts, a kind of care that's not so common anymore. And the sad reality is that it's not every day someone genuinely cares enough to make the effort. When someone reaches out to you, it's more than just a text or a phone call. It's their way of saying, "Hey, you matter to me." They're extending a piece of themselves, hoping for a connection, however small. It might be as simple, "How are you?" or just "thinking about you" message. But think about it. How often do we reciprocate that energy? How often do we dismiss it with a quick reply? Or worse, ignore it altogether? We often don't realize the weight that these efforts carry until they're gone. Now, I know life gets in the way. We're all guilty of letting messages pile up in our inbox, telling ourselves, "I'll reply later," or "I'm just too tired right now." But the truth is, when someone consistently reaches out and makes an effort to keep in touch, that's not something to take for granted. Think about how hard it is to stay connected in today's world, where everyone is consumed by their own priorities. It's so much easier to drift apart than it is to hold on to relationships, whether they're friendships or family ties. So when someone is willing to fight that drift, it's worth appreciating. We all want to feel valued and appreciated. That's just human nature. And yet, it's ironic how we sometimes overlook the very people who try to show us that we're important to them. Maybe they don't always get it right, or maybe they don't reach out in the way we prefer, but effort is effort. And in a world that often feels so disconnected, any effort to stay connected should mean something. It's not about grand gestures or lengthy conversations. Sometimes it's the small, consistent attempts that speak volumes. Have you ever wondered how it would feel if those efforts stopped? The person who always checked in on you or sent you random memes to make you smile might one day stop trying. And not because they stopped caring, but because they felt like their effort wasn't appreciated. Imagine the absence of those messages, the silence that follows when someone decides to stop trying because they no longer feel valued. So, the next time someone reaches out to you, don't brush it off. Take a moment to recognize the effort, even if you're busy. Send a quick reply or let them know you appreciate them. Because, let's be honest, it's not all the time that someone cares enough to make the effort to keep in touch. Life is too short to leave words unsaid and relationships unattended. After all, connections are what make life meaningful. They ground us, remind us we're not alone, and give us the strength to keep moving forward. In the end, we all want to feel like we matter to someone. So, when someone tries to remind you of that, don't ignore it, embrace it, because it's not something that comes around every day.